This ABC15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.
Hello, I'm Megan Thompson with your afternoon update right now from ABC15 Arizona. And we start with tragedy on the US 60 after a wrong-way crash kills a Valley mom and sends her daughter to the hospital. DBS troopers tell us a pickup truck was going the wrong way and crashed head-on into the mother and daughter on the US 60 near Mountain View Road. The man driving the truck also taken to the hospital. Investigators believe impairment may have been a factor. An update now to a story we told you about first last night. Pinal County Sheriff's Office say they have found the man accused of assaulting an elderly woman with a hammer. Officials say 39-year-old Patrick Wolf allegedly attacked the woman near Gary and Gale Roads in Santan Valley. That woman is reportedly in critical condition. And right now an investigation is underway after a man was shot and killed by Gilbert police Sunday. Officers telling us they were called for a welfare check for a man sitting in his car with a gun. When they arrived, we're told the man got out of his car, walking toward officers. This is when they opened fire.
When the subject came out of his vehicle, he came upon officers, and he was armed with a gun, a handgun, and a rifle, and he was wearing a ballistic vest.
Police say the man died at the scene and have only identified the suspect as a 40-year-old man. No officers were hurt in this incident. Finding senior living can be very costly. These facilities can ask for more than $100,000 up front as an entrance fee, with partial only refunds if you move out. But as our Let Joe Know team has reported, years after moving, some residents still cannot get their money. That could finally be changing. Here's Joe Ducey with a new proposed law aimed at protecting seniors.
Got the Purple Heart, was awarded the Bronze Star.
Barbara Taylor's talking about her good friend Forrest Buck and her struggle to help him get back a hefty deposit from a Valley senior living facility. We told you how Forrest paid an entrance fee guaranteeing life care at Sierra Wind Senior Center in Peoria. Forrest expected about $102,000 back when he moved out.
He thought he'd probably get something within about a year.
Forrest moved out in 2018. 5 years later, still no refund.
I thought within a year I would get a check for my 90% back.
We also told you how Janet Farnsworth put down a big entrance fee at Sierra Winds. When her husband died, Janet moved and expected a $193,000 refund. 3 years later, she still couldn't get it. When questioned, Sierra Winds pointed to their contract where it says no refunds until the unit is sold and occupied, something Forrest thought was unfair.
He would say, Barbara, I just don't think it's right. The fact that they can use my money, and I never know if they're really trying to sell my apartment unit or not.
In Arizona, there is no law requiring a deadline for these refunds, but that could soon change. We took Janet and Forrest's concerns to State Representative Matt Gress, and this month, he took action. Representative Gress introduced House Bill 2505, co-sponsored by 13 other House members. The proposed law addresses life care contracts, stating entrance fee refunds must be returned when residents move out and the resident's former living unit is inhabited by a new residence, or within 1 year, whichever is shorter.
There should be a time limit.
Barbara says a refund deadline just makes sense. At the age of 98, and more than 5 years after moving from Sierra Winds, Forrest died, still waiting for that refund and for this law that he wanted to protect other seniors.
I think Forrest would be thrilled.
With our help, Janet ended up getting her refund more than 3 years after moving out. Now about that House Bill 2505. Representative Gress says it must be assigned to a committee and for a chairperson to hear it in order for it to stay alive. Let your legislators know how you feel about House Bill 2505. Go to abc15.com/letjoeknow. I've got a link to all House members right there. I'm Investigator Joe Ducey. If you got a problem, let me know.
Hi there, I'm Nohelani Graff with that most accurate forecast. We are tracking the next round of rain and snow moving into our state here in the valley and across central Arizona, likely to hold off the rain until later this afternoon and more into the evening hours. But once it gets going, we're looking at about a quarter to a half inch of rain here in the valley, and in northern Arizona, 1 to 3 inches of snow for the Flagstaff area and surrounding areas. Here in the valley, we're also going to have a foggy start to the morning. Then that clears. We're dry for much of the day, but cooler in the 60s before that next round of rain moves in. More 60s across southern and western Arizona today, 40s for the central portion of the state, 30s and 40s north of the rim, so a notably cooler day. Once that rain gets started here in the valley this evening, it's going to take us through Tuesday, so it will be a soggy afternoon on Tuesday, finally starting to dry out by Wednesday. And then the 70s are back in the valley by the weekend, and will start to dry out in the high country by Friday.
We will have another update for you tonight. Until then, get the latest news, weather, and traffic at ABC15.com or download the free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanders & Ford. All roads lead to Sanders & Ford.